Brothers, welcome back to DummyNation. Today we're going to be playing as the most upvoted country from the last video with a little bit of a challenge attached to it. We're going to be playing as Ecuador today, but with the added challenge that we must take every country on the equator before the game is over. So that means if another country comes in and takes part of that country, aka if the United States takes part of Colombia, who's on the equator, we're going to have to fight the United States for Colombia. We're going to need control of Colombia, Brazil, Gabon, the Republic of the Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, and Indonesia by the time the game ends. And whoever controls any part of those countries will have to fight them as well. Now, starting off here, Ecuador has the 66th best GDP, 72 in population. That's very nice for us. Military power 65, so we start out with some troops. 2.94 million firepower. That's pretty nice. A little bit of tanks and everything in that. We start out with a friendship with the Vatican City. Very exciting. And the potential of getting a friendship with Brazil, which honestly wouldn't be the worst thing for us. But let's just go ahead and check out the big countries and see if any of these guys would want to be friends with us before we start. 11 million, obviously too much. I don't know why I ever checked the United States. I don't think I've ever been able to find any country that can get an alliance with the United States right away. Looks like our cheapest right now is going to be Brazil. So let's go ahead and line that up. We will obviously be wanting to fight Brazil, but for the starting moment, we do need a big ally. Let's go ahead and get that secured for ourselves. Now, we are also a democracy, so we're going to take down Liberator just a little bit, in military service we don't care about. Let's take that down to 0. In terms of our research, we have 51 points to spend. What have we not done recently? We haven't done too many economy focused ones, so maybe we go eco, but honestly, eco's, I don't know how much eco is going to really help us here. How is our population in terms of recruiting troops? We do have a decent population, and honestly, yeah, we're pretty good on that. So we'll go ahead and do economy focus here. So let's throw in a bunch of points into economic research. Let's get a 40% discount on all of that. And then let's go ahead and get a level of financial micromanagement. And then 2 levels of self-sufficient economy, with the goal of being we're going to get probably 1 or 2 more. And then obviously a level of smart taxation. So that's going to be our path. Now, in terms of our budget, we're going to go ahead and bring down social. We're going to bring up military. We're going to bring up R&D. All that good. And then let's go to our military tab. Let's go ahead and get some tanks out there. Let's get we can get a lot of tanks. Let's get 3k tanks and then some rockets as well for 1 million. Save 100,000. Although if we could get some more of these guys, yeah, let's get a few more. How is everything looking? What's our army look like? We definitely need a little bit more piercing, so let's get some gunners, just a little bit extra. And there's our full budget. Now, in terms of immediate targets, who are we going to be targeting? Costa Rica is always a good one. So is the Dominican Republic, and so is Haiti. Let's go ahead, since we already have a military, and go to Costa Rica. Now, the reason we want to go after Costa Rica is we want an easy way to get from the Atlantic to the Pacific and vice versa. So we need a pass-through country, and that is going to be Costa Rica for us. So let's go ahead and fight them down. Hopefully, we don't encounter too many militias spawning up right away. Nope, that is done. Fantastic. And let's go ahead and continue upwards, grabbing some more of these easy countries to get up here, like Haiti and Jamaica, for their population, and also potentially lowering our GDP per capita just a little bit here. All right, and with those 3 countries out of the way, we've moved up a little bit in terms of our GDP world ranking. We are 54. Population is 43. We're going to sneak over to Africa and also try and grab some of the weaker, easier countries to grab over here, like the Gambia. And then potentially anything over here really would actually be pretty good for us. So we'll start out with the Gambia and then just kind of move our way down. Now, we could also target Gabon, but I'm going to wait for my full military. I definitely want to target some of these African countries that we need right away, because they will be harder to get later in the game. And oh, no, freaking United Kingdom, you jerk. Okay, Guinea-Bissau also doesn't have any troops. Let's jump over there and grab that. No, freaking United Kingdom, stop grabbing everything I want to grab. Okay, that one's done. Head over. Anybody else not have troops? Oh my god, Japan, get away. Here, you know, throw them there. Throw them there. We have a little bit. We just need the rockets, to be honest with you. The United States is taking... No, not the United States. Gabon. I needed Gabon. Dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. That's really unfortunate. I don't want to engage before I have my full military, because obviously we don't want to waste any of our troops, but that's a huge blow. We could have gotten them out of the way and not had to fight the United States, but having to fight the United States, Probably would have been something we had to do regardless, but it is frustrating that now we absolutely have to. All right, we have our commandos, we have everything. Let's go ahead and bring this army over. Gonna go ahead and start progress on at least the Republic of the Congo, and maybe, no, probably not the DRC, unless they really kind of work themselves down. They are fighting Uganda, though. That is a nice little addition for us. But I don't think I want to take on the DRC right now. I think we're a little bit too small for that. If we could just peruse through the Amazon slightly faster. Can you believe this? It's taking us forever to get through the Amazon forest. All right, our troops are in range. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and fight the first country that we need, which is the Republic of the Congo. And should be a pretty easy fight. They have less than 1,000 of firepower. We knocked them down immediately. Hopefully we didn't lose too many troops. No, we really didn't. So that's a great one for us to grab here. And that should be pretty good for us in terms of kind of starting position. Now, obviously, we do need to go back and grab, like, Colombia would be a really good one. In fact, we definitely probably want to go back and grab Colombia now. Let's grab these guys out of the way and then go back for Colombia. I think that'll be a nice move for us. They have 2 million firepower. How many reservists do they have? Not a ton. So let's go home and see if we can recruit some more troops along the way. What do we need? We could use a little bit more firepower, ironically. So let's get some more commandos ready now that they are nice and cheap because of all the population that we've recruited. Our GDP per capita is now 81. As soon as those guys are ready, we'll definitely go into Colombia. Now, does Colombia have any friends? They are besties with the Vatican City, but so are we. So as soon as these guys are done, we should be able to jump in there. I think, oh, China's getting Kenya. No! That's a rough one to accept. Now we have to fight the United States and China for those 2 pieces of land. We do have our troops ready. And before the United States does anything worse on, they are attacking Venezuela. I know where they're going to go next. They're going to go Colombia. So before they get the opportunity, we're going to fight Colombia, grab all of their territory. And if we can jump over here and grab any little bit of Venezuela, we will. It's not part of our task. Colombia, a really good target for us to get. They were like 37 in GDP and a pretty easy one to knock down. So worthwhile to do this. We do need to start worrying about our own GDP, though. We need to raise this by a little bit. In fact, a lot. We need to get into the top 20 so we can start producing units at an effective rate. But we'll worry about that bridge when we cross it. For now, we're just going to focus on grabbing Colombia away. Okay, mission accomplished, but we do have 2 little bits. Australia and the Netherlands grabbed a little bit of our territory. Although, is this Venezuela? I'll have to rely on chat. But let's go home for the time being and then kind of evaluate our progress. We are 22 in GDP, 18 in population. I'm going to go ahead and use this moment to go ahead and start recruiting, even though this will be a little bit expensive. That is very expensive, in fact. I don't know if we can afford that. We definitely can afford that. Let's just go back and manually recruit some more things. Let's get a unit of gunners ready, and then we can kind of start talking about where do we want to go next. Looks like there is a little bit of action up in Central America. Not super interested in that. Might go after, yeah, Saudi Arabia will be our target. That is a great one. Let's get just a little bit more troops for that one. Save a little bit of money, as we might need to be buying off some of the Arab League. But Saudi Arabia is the 18th best GDP. They have, oh, Japan's already over there. Oh, give me those freaking, okay, good. Those are done. Run over here. I'm speed. Here, take speed. Okay, still the Amazon forest is the fastest way over here. Okay, fair. All right, we made it over to Saudi Arabia before they've been fully taken out. We can grab the southern economy sections over here, so that's gonna be our focus. Do we have a big enough army to split? Not really. Maybe later, but for now, I'm gonna keep everybody together. You know, honestly, because they're getting attacked by so many people, I am gonna risk this and just split a little bit, see if we can grab some more economy. Again, that's what we're really after. Now, did anyone declare war on us? No, everyone's really chill with this. So we can hopefully grab most of Saudi Arabia. In fact, now that we have the coast, let's go ahead and just kind of position ourselves up a little bit so that we're not just fighting for this desert area up here. We're hopefully grabbing a little bit more of the economy-focused areas. And we might be able to jump in a little bit on Iraq, depending on how fast we're able to do this. Algeria's over here and they have declared war on us. Let's go ahead and just get a peace treaty with them. Don't really have any designs on them for the current moment, so don't need to fight them. And there we go. We moved into the top 20. So I'm going to go back to this production tab. I will force it a little bit. Let's go ahead and get this up here. Yeah, 65% is a little bit aggressive. Let's go at least 50. 50 is fine. Getting some reservists and everything will be worthwhile. If we could split up, though, because we do need to make sure to try and grab a little bit of Iraq. Though it doesn't look like that's going to be super possible anymore. In fact, let's just take you and tell you to go fight Iraq. Hopefully we can jump in there and grab a little bit away from the United States. Nope, just a little taste. Unfortunate. Okay, let's finish up Saudi Arabia then. All right, that is Saudi Arabia done as much as we can get it. Let's go ahead and not fight the UAE because they're very strong. Iran is falling though. That is a lovely sign. Let's grab our army, bring them over here. If Iran is this weak, how many reservists do they have? Nothing. This is perfect time for us. Let's go ahead and fight on the western side of Iraq where there's just a little bit more economy. You can see all these little dots is where their economy is. Obviously, this is the capital, Tehran. But let's fight and go up north. We have some more troops along the way that will fill in as necessary. And we do have $1 million. So let's go ahead and buy $1 million worth of tanks. Boom. And then slow this down ever so slightly because I'm getting overwhelmed as we need to push more effectively, but also not be throwing away all of our troops. We do also need to be keeping an eye on our ammunition shortage. If this gets too high, obviously we'll just be throwing away troops. Let's move up north a little bit while there's an army. Just make sure that we try and mostly block the United States. I honestly don't want them over here. They've grabbed enough. And since we're gonna have to fight them at some point because they grabbed a lot. I was gonna say Gabon, but they've also grabbed the DRC. I don't want them to be as big as possible. That's gonna take a long time to knock them down. We missed out on France. That was not on my radar because it never happens. Spain's weak, but I imagine they have all their friends still. They do. When did Russia's falling? Okay, quickly finish up with Iran. We're gonna grab Tehran, and then we're gonna jump over here and start working on Russia as Poland is getting a lot of it. I do want the capital Tehran. That is pretty valuable. But after that, I think we can call it quits. Just move the capital away from me. All right, that's good enough. Let's start moving up to get Mother Russia. Good. I'm glad we grabbed a little bit of Iran because it's going to make grabbing the Russia parts we want a little bit easier. We're going to miss out on a ton of economy to Poland, but we're going to try and work our way up north. It's fine. I'm not the most concerned with it. We don't have a gigantic army to be messing around with, so we'll deal with that later. We also have a little bit of research we can dump in here, so let's get another level of self-sufficient economy. Just keep raising our exchange rate ever so slightly. And then, is anybody want to be friends with us? Like, could we afford an alliance with the United States? 13 million still. China is 40,000. Let's go ahead and grab that. That'll be a big one for us later. And let's go ahead. And where are we going? Why are we pushing over here? Go this way, please. Let's start pushing for Central Russia, Central European Russia. Now, there is a slight chance we can grab Moscow, so we're going to rush that, and then we can push eastwards. But Moscow, obviously, a very nice prize to have. Would be a nice feather in our cap, if you will. Ooh, if we can get it. I think Finland's over here. Well, while we have the military, these rebels up, let's move closer. Always a nice little strategy you can do just to ensure that you get the territory you want. Now, obviously, fighting on the capital is not ideal. You lose a little bit more troops, but it ensures that we are the country that gets the capital. Very nice for us. So we do, in fact, get Moscow. Great news. And then let's go ahead and ignore that and just keep pushing over here because I do see that Great Britain is also pushing over here, which is not fantastic news for us either. We want to capture like this region, and then after that, I don't really care about Russia. And I will split and go here, as I do want to try and push this a little bit faster than other countries are, though most countries have abandoned their efforts. Still worth pushing, in my opinion. My dudes, Brazil is very weak. Oh, but you do have a ton of reservists, don't you? You do. You will. What is our ammunition shortage at? It's about halfway. Let's just keep fighting in Russia for the time being. Australia's falling. They are besties with the United States and United Kingdom and Canada. I can't get involved in that. God bless Indonesia. This map has gone very differently to how most maps go. I don't know if the code's been changed and tweaked with. I mean, I've never seen France fall, like, period. Let's in fact bring you back as well. That's good enough for Russia. We're gonna go back here and just kind of backfill this little section of Russia that we need, and then grab the rest of Iran. Iran's a valuable country, and this would also give us land borders with China, because I don't believe, oh no, we do touch them somewhere. Our exchange rate is up to 76% in the green. We're making a ton of money. Where are we at now? 9 and 6. Fantastic. Can we adjust our production? Nope, that's pretty good where it's at. I think we started a little bit high. Just grab these things, and then we'll go jump down here to Iran, but obviously want to finish this first. Boom, that's done. Fight here. We'll bring the second army over here in a minute. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to fight for Iran because it's getting invaded as we speak. So we'll get Iran first. Turkey's falling? Turkey is falling. Turkey's falling. They are friends with no one that important. Now, we only have borders on this side, which is very unfortunate for us. Are you powerful and friendly? You do have some friends. I think it's still going to be worth it for us to jump over here and fight Turkey. and ignore what's going on with Iran. Looks like China's also kind of backed off here a little bit, but if we can jump over here, we're gonna have to push our way into the Black Sea to get some of the more economically viable parts of Turkey. In fact, actually, if we just go south, we'll probably grab a good chunk of it. So maybe we'll just stick down here and fight for this area. Get out of here, United Kingdom. I'm so tired of you being in every little like aspect of a country that I'm even looking at. Huzzah, Turkey's done. Okay, that was great for us. We still have Iran to get, so let's just jump back over here, I suppose, in our never-ending quest. We just need a moment. Oh frick, Iran broke out over here. We just need a moment where every country's not fighting all at once. And then where the hell is Russia? I think that's the last little bit of Russia, which means we need to fight that if we want that rebel to go away. Give me like one little effort over here. And honestly, we have a giant army building up over here. Yeah, let's bring them over. Can I get an alliance with the United States now? 7 milli. Okay, Russia gone? No, Russia not gone. Whatever, reservists will take care of that. All right, Iran is done. Fantastic news for us. Now, let's just take a look at our goals. Dude, no way. Brazil, there's no way you're this weak. How many friends do you have? You're friends with Pakistan, Argentina. Argentina's my friend now. Now let's go home and get ready to fight Brazil. I think that would be a big win for us. We are at war with the United States. I think it's because we've walked through their territory so many times. So we'll buy that back. Whoopsie daisies. We only need $2 million to become besties with them. We are still friends with China. Good to know. Spain's falling too. Spain is falling! Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. But are they? Yeah, they're still friends with everyone, so we can't really get involved in that. Oh, we need a little bit more rocket power. Let's get this before we go invade Brazil. And then let's chill out. Oh no, our ammunition shortage is actually 0. We could get this alliance with the United States before we do this. I would love to get that. That's not that expensive, so I think we're going to save up for this before we invade Brazil. Brazil and the United States are not allied. In fact, they're fighting them right now. They are fighting them right now. Let's go over and get ready to fight Brazil. Now, I do have borders with them on this side, but I'd rather fight for this side in terms of the economy. So that'll be our goal here. Let's go get another level of self-sufficient economy. We should start transitioning to military logistics would be nice, but we haven't run into that problem yet. So probably smart taxation, 9.53. All right, we'll start our fight with Brazil. Again, they don't have a ton of troops, but they will spawn a bunch of little militias, which is obviously not very exciting. We do have a big enough army to split in most countries, but I'm going to keep these guys together, at least for right now. We probably won't grab all of Brazil, just realistically speaking, as they're such a big country, I'd be surprised if others don't join in here. So we're going to mostly be targeting the kind of economic zones here. All right, that is Brazil done. Let's go ahead and go home. We are now the 5th best economy, 4th best in population. Would love to add like a Mexico. In fact, that would actually be pretty good. Diplomacy wise, they do have some friends. Israel, Canada would be my biggest concerns. Let's go ahead and buy off both of these guys. We are for some reason at war with the United Kingdom, who doesn't have a ton of troops, but a little bit too much for right now. Let's go ahead and peace out with them. We are good on troops. Let's just go invade Mexico. Yeah, the United States is already on their way. Let's go up. Okay, not that then. Let's just draw a straight line and go invade Mexico. All right, so we are done with Mexico. We are now the 4th biggest GDP, 4th biggest population. We are going to be chillaxing here for a moment as a very big boy. What is our exchange rate at? 75%. Don't necessarily need an alliance with the United States. They are going to be obviously a target that we need to get. Other targets that we can potentially be looking at is Indonesia, which is actually very appealing right now, as long as they don't have tremendous friends. They do have a lot of friends, so not Indonesia right now. But everything's collapsing over here. Poland, do you still have all your friends? You do. Oh my god, the United Kingdom is very weak. We do need a lot of their land, and they're very angry boys with the rest of the world. Glad we checked. Head on over to the United Kingdom. They're our next target. We do need to grab this area. They have a little bit of Uganda, and I think that's the only territory we super duper need. So we'll grab the mainland where it's valuable and then head down here to Africa, where they have a little bit of the DRC, a little bit of Uganda. All right, let's go fight these angry boys. We'll fight from Wales and see if anyone declares war on us. I don't actually remember if they had any friends. They're besties with Portugal, so we'll peace out with Portugal for the time being. Although if I wanted to fight Portugal, I couldn't. They have too many friends. Okay, peace out with Portugal then. Nice and cheap. Just fight the United Kingdom. Let's go ahead and split our army, see if we can make some big money moves. up here in Scotland, grab all of their economy. This should propel us at least into third, if not second place. You need to get Africa too? Yeah, but obviously I'm going to target the economy first. It's nice to get Africa. It'll be nice to get Africa, but I want the economy from the United Kingdom proper before I even think about that. Alrighty, we have all of that. Let's go down here and grab what they have of Spain with this army, and then take what we need over here. Oh, we can't actually get in there though. Oh, we can. We have to go through Tasmania though. So let's start heading over here with another army. Start working on this section of the world we need. Tanzania, not Tasmania. Correct. Tanzania, not Tasmania. My apologies. My apologies. Dude, Italy and Germany are also fighting. Germany's very weak. Germany has all their friends still. Ugh, just to being part of the EU though. We could fight Italy though, realistically. I mean, let's finish up with the United Kingdom. I think we're taking on too much. In fact, I don't want this that much. Can we grab that little bit of Turkey that they have? Let's get a level of smart taxation, by the way. How is our ammunition shortage? Have we started to run out yet? I mean, we haven't fought anyone big. No, we're fine. Looks like the rest of the world's kind of eating up what remains of the United Kingdom. I have really not a ton of interest in fighting the rest of the United Kingdom. So let's go home and continue our kind of build-up process. America is very weak right now. This might be... Wow, they have a lot of reservists. What about Indonesia? Remember how we were talking about fighting them? Didn't they have like all the friends? Yes. Did the United States have all the friends? Yes and no. I think I'll risk potentially fighting the United States. Let's see how big our army is though. 30 million? Could definitely get that up a little bit, especially as we've really lagged behind on the these guys. Oh, we should definitely increase this, get that up a little bit healthier there, and build up for a little bit. See if the United States continues to get weaker. They have 20 million, so they're not exactly that much weaker than us, and 45 million firepower and reservists is a lot to mess with. You know, we could probably fight down Germany. They have a lot of friends, but they're very cheap to buy off. Let's go fight Germany since they're incredibly weak, and if we can knock down Germany, we could probably also knock down Poland and really kind of tear apart the the EU, if you will. Also probably knock down you guys as well. Yeah, I think we'll just focus in on Europe for a little bit. We'll save the United States for later. Let's get some more economy over here in Europe. But let's go ahead and fight Germany. We will have a number of people to peace out with. We'll just go ahead and see who all we need to peace out with. The Netherlands. I'm actually going to fight you because I do want to fight you later. Malaysia will get out of here, though. Singapore's here. Who else? That's it so far. Yeah, we're decimating their army. We'll see if anyone else declares war on us once we start taking territory. Nope, we're good. All right, where is Germany? I mean, they have some stuff down here that's going to get invaded. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity to invade Poland. Argentina's declared war on us. We'll peace out with them. Anybody else care so far? Nope, just Argentina. Italy's bringing back the Roman Empire. You know, they kind of are. It does look that way. Like, they got to knock down a few more countries, but they are pretty progressed in that aspect. Let's go ahead and invest a level into military logistics to lower the amount of ammunition shortage. Now, it doesn't look like it's limiting the ammunition shortage. The bar stays the same, but these two numbers change. They lower a lot. So that should help us continue fighting over here in Europe as we take out Poland and probably just kind of wreck everybody else along the way. As, Pakistan's also falling. No, I'll probably fight Italy next. Yeah, Italy's a great target right now. All right, Poland has been defeated. Italy, as long as you're not friends with... let's go ahead and get an alliance with the United States. Perfect. Nope, you're not friends with China. Let's go ahead and fight Italy down because they are very rich and have very little troops. We have to get Italy out of the way. Does China own any? Yeah, China does own some land that we need. That's unfortunate. Let's go ahead and fight down Italy. Bring on the Irish. Or excuse me, the Italians. We were talking about the Irish. Bring on the Italians with your tiny reservists, and then let's go ahead and split this group up as much as we can. Hopefully we'll just take out Italy nice and quick. I don't think anyone's declared war on us. South Korea has. I have no interest in fighting South Korea, even though they're small. Let's get them out of the way and continue our escapades into Italia. South Korea took the Netherlands. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just talking about in-game stuff, we have to fight China. So I'm thinking we're going to have to do that next, and I'm just going to grab this area. I don't really care. And then we go on a big campaign about fighting the United States down on every single front. Now, the problem is the United States is pretty close to winning the game. So we can also increase our capacity over here. Let's go ahead and do that. Give me a few more gunners as well. 36% works. As we're taking a lot of rich Italian land over here. We're at 30%. The United States is at 79%, so they're very close to winning. So what our strategy needs to be is we need to quickly jump over here. Actually, we're going to need to fight Indonesia first. We'll fight Indonesia, then fight China for the land that we need, then just go hard into the United States for everything else. But the problem is we need to gain a bunch of land without winning the game yet. So we need to fight Indonesia because we basically need their entire country, and we'll get Australia along the way. They're pretty weak right now, so they're a great target to go after. So as soon as we finish up with Italy, we're going to go after Indonesia because we need that as part of the challenge. Then we're going to fight China for this land, and then we'll fight the United States for Somalia, the DRC, Gabon, the rest of Brazil, and then go into their mainland for the victory. In fact, can I leave Italy alone at this point? Yes, I can. They only won 1 million. Wonderful. Let's gather our forces and go down to Indonesia. All right, troops have arrived. Let's go ahead and start fighting down Indonesia. Now, Indonesia, not that strong. They do have some friends. We'll see if any of them join in on wanting to fight us, but their overall military is not that strong. The Philippines we need no part of, so we'll get a peace treaty with them. Azerbaijan still is in the game. Congratulations. Peace out with you. And is that it? Yes. Okay, good. So how many reservists do they have? They have not that many, so we should be able to knock these guys down rather quickly, start taking the land. Their military still exists, but it's very small. So let's go ahead and start splitting, and we'll worry about the Czechs. The Czechs will not leave me alone. I should have just taken them out while we were over there. Let's start grabbing this. Let's go ahead and go down to Australia, and then split this army, and then just go to the capital so we can potentially take a little bit more land, as this army will be engaging any army of Indonesia's that spawns. Alrighty, that is Indonesia done. Japan grabbed a little bit of this land that we actually need, so we're just gonna hop on over here with our bigger army. We're gonna take this away from them, and then we'll call it good with Japan. If they want to fight us all the way down, we'll obviously go up to Tokyo. Don't need it for this run, because obviously we have bigger fish on the horizon with China and so forth, but let's go ahead and fight them for this section right here. In fact, if we could just gather everybody and not fight Japan without our entire army. Good. Let's go ahead and fight Japan. We'll see who declares war on us. And once we get this, we'll peace out with them. Or we'll try to, at the very least. All right, that's all Japan that I actually need. Let's see if we can give... Yep, we can get a nice cheap alliance or peace treaty with them. Let's go ahead and first off, get another level of smart taxation. Boom. And then let's go ahead and buy a lot more tanks and get ready for our unfortunate but inevitable fight with China for this land over here. All right, there is everything. Let's gather everyone over here. Check out our production, see if we can raise that. Let's just go ahead and raise this to the maximum. Yeah, that's good. We'll start doing that. It's 70% of our budget, but at the end of the day, production is what we really need. And no one really has a tremendous army to challenge us. I mean, the United States will be our biggest threat. China does have a small army. How many reservists do they have? They have a decent amount of reservists. So again, we're going to be fighting for this land right here. As soon as that's done, we can kind of back away. South Africa, we're also going to need to fight down. Do we want to fight them first? Potentially. Yeah, let's go ahead and fight down South Africa first for this little bit of Somalia that we need. We'll grab this section over here and then call it good. Not really interested in their land elsewhere. Okay, that's all of South Africa that we need. Let's see if we can peace out with them. We can. Boom. Let's get down to China. Get ready for the big fight with them. This will be a little bit of a rougher go, but again, we don't need a ton of land. We just need this stuff right here. So let's go ahead and fight them down. All right, how big is your army? Still 18 million. Probably need to keep everyone together. Start getting a little bit more of a push here. How many more reservists do I need to knock down? Not that many. All right, that's all of China that we need. Let's see if we can peace out with China if they're interested in that. They are only 3 million. Okay, so now we go for the big fight here, which is the United States. They have Somalia, which we need. They have the DRC, which we need. They have Gabon, which we need. So let's gather all of our army over here. We have a pretty big, sizable army. I don't think I do have a peace treaty with them. I'm honestly going to ignore that, though. We'll fight over here, push this way. And then once we grab everything that we need, like right here, we're going to go hard into their mainland and hopefully get the victory, as they have 90%. So good thing we're fighting them right now. Let's go ahead and invest in military logistics. This is going to be a battle that's going to go on for quite some time. As soon as we get here, we start fighting. We do have time to do this, right? I mean, they already got 91% just in the time that we walked over here. But as soon as we start engaging them, they should stop gaining progress. At least that is the hope. Let's go ahead and fight the United States. Even though we have a peace treaty with them, prestige falls. Don't really care. Going to fight for this area over here, and then we'll start pushing into the Congo for that. Let's take a look at their reservists. They do have a ton of them, so this is going to take a long time to knock through all of this to get this land. But we are getting a little bit, little by little, we are gaining progress. Let's go ahead and peace out with Taiwan. Anyone else declare war on me? Nope, they're fine with it. Now, the reason we're pushing from the Africa side is because the United States has so much of the world's economy. We want to make sure to grab the areas that we need prior to taking them on the mainland, because again, we need to grab all the countries on the equator before the game ends. So if we beat the United States, if we get to 100% before we have all these countries, we technically lose our challenge. Dang, they still have 19 million reservists. All right, let's go over here. All right, the reservists are almost depleted, only 2 million left. So let's go ahead and split this army, see if we can start making some progress here. Now, the nice thing about fighting in their African territories is by the time we finish everything that we need over here, we should have a very easy battle going into the mainland as well. We have bled a lot of troops ourselves, but we should be fine. And we are building another army over here. You can see that's already at 25 million. So that will be ready to rumble here in a little bit. Should be ready to join our forces in full by the time that these guys are done. All right, so now we have everything along the equator here. So let's go ahead, bring our, oh no, we need Brazil. Oh, okay, let's get over here, start fighting for the Brazilian territories. We'll just kind of fight. Well, this army is ready to rumble. That's already 20 million. Fight there, split, fight over. Yeah, we'll just fight up there, and then these two armies can fight over here. Once we get this, we can go up to mainland and start doing some damage against the actual big economy zones of the United States. Oh, dude, there's their army. How big is that? 10 million. Let's gather these two and just go challenge him. Hey, bud. All right, that shrank this army down to like nothing. That's fine. This army didn't have enough armor was the issue. All right, and that is all we need down there. Let's go ahead and move up to Florida and start taking the real important stuff that we need. We'll take this army over to California, start our invasion from San Diego. Now, if the borders don't 100% line up, you know, we're going to be fine with that. Like, if we're missing a teeny tiny part of the island or part of something, we're not going to care that much about it. The challenge is complete. Now it's just about winning the game. And we can easily do that by fighting the United States, who still has 90% of the world's economy. Let's go ahead and start splitting here and just making sure that they do not, in fact, get the opportunity to win. If you guys could go up to San Francisco, that would be great. As we've mostly knocked down the United States Army, they only have 2 million left and only a few reservists. Our little status update, we've captured the east and west coasts of the United States. We've going into their holdings over here in Europe. If you could just get back down there. So far, so good. 84% is where we're at, which means the United States does not have the 90% they did, and they're pretty close to winning it. Gonna keep this army over here in Europe and just grabbing some more of these lands over here while this army just kind of completes its mission there. You guys are basically ready to rumble as well, so we'll send you up into Texas, and we'll just kind of keep fighting the United States until we are done here, and then let's take you up and go fight in Norway. All right, and we are approaching 98%, 99. There's our victory. Ecuador dominates the world after 27.8k days. I don't know if that will put us on the leaderboard. We could have done this much faster if we weren't also doing our challenge, but we'll check it out all the same. Let's go into platform so we can make sure that we're not accounting for old records. And then let's look for Ecuador. Second place. Craft in chat did beat us, but second place with a challenge. Because we definitely could have won that a lot faster if we weren't messing around with the rest of the world. The United States had 90% a long time ago, and we could have fought them down. So there was a chance we get the world record, but alas, second place with a challenge. We can feel pretty good about that. So that will do it for today. So as we do start to wrap things up, just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made this far in the video. If you have made this far in the video, hey, give it a thumbs up. Really helps out a lot. If you're new around here, subscribe for more. Put videos every day of the week. But for now, boys, I will see you in the next one.